Hey, this is Dan from TrueTrader.net with a weekly recap for the last week of February. This week was a pretty rough week for the markets as a whole, but for us, we did quite well. And before I start, the members only educational recap, if you remember, is posted in the room. Over there, I go over my thought process, which indicators I was looking at, and why I was taking the trades where I did. This recap is going to be a general, brief, weekly recap for all of the trades we took for, again, the last week of February. So starting off with the 25th, our only trade of the day was RCII. RCII, we got along on this washout at 24.59. We were going to sell at 25.20 and missed that by 1 penny, came back down, so sold it on the pop at 25.10. So RCII on Tuesday, 24.59 to 25.10. That was our only trade for the 25th of February. And I'm skipping Monday due to the fact that Monday was a pretty slow day, a pretty much flat day. So that was for the 25th of February, RCII. On Wednesday, February 26th, our first trade was on NVAX. We bought NVAX in pre-market at 8.5 on the phase 1 data. We sold some on the pop out the open at 8.7, but then it failed to continue momentum, came back below 860s, 850s, and it was looking a little bit weak off the open. So we sold on the pop for break even. Now, it ran to $11 per share. Phenomenal run, but who could have predicted that? Obviously, in hindsight, it would have been a wonderful hold. But we were staying safe and conservative and took 20 cents on half and the rest break even. That's a win to me. Because what if it rolled over and went to 8 and 770s? Then that would suck. So staying conservative and safe in this market environment was the right thing to do, and this play, in my opinion, was the correct move. Our next trade was on WB. On WB, we got short at 45.10 when it spiked up pretty nice and the volume started to drop off. It started to roll over. We got short at 45.10 and covered all along the way, with our last piece being for +3 at 42.10. That was a pretty nice trade, pretty straightforward and pretty easy. And those were our trades for the 26th of February. Moving on to Thursday, we had one trade, and that was on NEO. NEO, we got long at 24 flat, right on the dot. Pretty much caught the low. We sold a piece for $1, a piece for $1.50, and I sold the rest in the 26.60s, and that was NEO. So NEO got long at 24, sold a piece 25, a piece 25.50s, and the rest in the 26.60s. Just over 2.5 points on a $20 stock before lunchtime. And moving on to Friday, the 28th of February, we took 3 trades. On Friday, our first trade was actually a loser. It was on TTT. We bought the trade desk at 266.4. It came up a little bit, nice, but then stalled. And actually, I never like to have excuses for my trades, but if you recall, eSignal and Thinkorswim were lagging very, very hard, and I was not able to see the price action correctly. So in the trade desk, I took off the majority for break even on the pops when it was stalling, but I cut the rest off when it snapped below 264s. Next was EQM. EQM, we got long at 1650s with the plan to add at 15.4. EQM, I sold in the 1730s. And the plan and the reason why I did what I did, again, my thought process and educational commentary is posted in the members only recap in the room. So EQM made up for the TTD loss due to the fact that 80 cents on a $16 stock, percent-wise, is much higher than a $1.50 loss on a $260 stock. So EQM made up for TTD, and this was a very stress-free trade, really a no-brainer. Again, if you want to see why I took this trade, it was pretty obvious why it was going to bounce. Again, the thought process and the plan is posted in the room. Next for Friday was SPY. SPY was arguably the best trade of the day on Friday. Got long at 285.9, caught the low with the plan to add low 285s. Low 285s did not come, just got one long at 285.9. Sold a few for +3, some more for +5, and on the SPY, I held my last piece for 294 for just about 8 points. Now, if you compare this to the ES, we bought the SPY when the ES was at 28.56, and we sold our last piece when it was pretty much at 29.40 for nearly 100 points on the ES. So if you compare that in terms of futures to SPY, on SPY, 8 points if you're a new trader might not look a lot, but in the futures world, that's a home run. Okay, almost 100 points on the futures. And on the calls itself, on the SPY calls, when we got long, at 10 a.m., the SPY calls were at $1.40. Okay? Spiked up to 3.20s. So pretty much doubled. If you caught that, phenomenal work. That was a very good job on SPY. We were maxing out our last piece for 294 by trailing our stop and rising our stop as it worked in our favor to maximize the profits. Again, if you want to know why I'm taking these trades, go check the room for the educational members only recap. So just to recap, the last week of February was a pretty great week considering that the S&P was obliterating most traders and investors. We stayed safe, played the stock smart, and waited for the emotional over-exaggerations in the first half an hour of the market to play the stocks back for the reversal on the ones that made sense. I wish you all a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.